Wait, did you wait? All right, guys. So today we're doing something kind of familiar. We're actually checking if whatever input we have here is a palindrome. And for those of you who have forgot what a palindrome is, it's basically a string or an integer or whatever it is that can basically be the same thing once it's read from backward to frontward. Sorry, if it is written like from front to back, it's actually needs to sound the same as if it's written from back to front. So that's what a palindrome is. And we are actually receiving integer this time. We are not working with string. So in our function, we basically define a new x, which is basically going to be a string version of whatever we have input here. So in this case, we have number, which are input, and we turn that into string using this built-in function. Had a for loop that actually start from the beginning to like the middle of the length of our new strings. And the reason why is because we want to compare those the number from like uh, the beginning. So like we want to compare the beginning number to with the end number. And just bear with me, you will understand soon. Here we're basically comparing the first letter and checking if it is not actually the same as this one. And what this whole part is actually doing is basically checking the previous. So let me actually have a drawing because like I know there's you guys are like visual learners, so this might be helpful. Okay, so let's say for example that we have something like one, we have two, and we have two, and we have one here. So what this part is actually doing is basically checking first of all if this letter here is the same thing as this one here. And the reason why is actually landing on here is because of the condition we have here. So for example, let's take the first example where I is equal to 0. So if I is equal to 0, we are going to check the first thing, this thing, with the new x down length, which is basically like the length, the total length. That will be out of range, so we subtract 1, right? So that actually brings us here, but we have to subtract I. And remember, I is basically 0 in our first time. So therefore, 0 minus like the number that we have right now minus 0 will be like the same thing as like new length that minus 1. So we land here and we try to see if they are not equal. So if they are not equal, which means that this whole condition will be true, then we want to return false, else we want to return true. So to get a better understanding, let's just jump into the next value of I, if I actually is 1. For example, we are going to compare like for this value, and we want to compare to like whatever this value gave us. So we have new x dot length, which is going to be the total length, which is in this case 4, minus 1 will give us 3, minus I, which is 1 this time, will give us 2. And if you count the index 0, 1, 2, we land here. So basically we're trying to compare these two to see if they're the same. If they're not the same, which means that this whole condition will be true, they want to return false, else we want to return true. So that's why it's very important to understand what this whole thing is doing. And yeah, just go ahead and play with this and come up with your own logic. Personally, I love this one. All right, that's it for today, guys. Have fun. See ya.